So hi, welcome to this podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
Happy fucking Monday.
Happy fucking Monday.
Fucking Monday, man.
I'm Youngblood. I haven't pulled out the Youngblood in a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good. That
Shout
was
out
good.
Youngblood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Youngblood. For real. Yeah. And happy Tuesday. Or happy rest of the week to the people not watching this live. Craziness going on here. What a week full of records.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it. The playlist was 4 hours long, but we don't have a ton of topics to talk about going into this, which was wild.
Long ass playlist.
A lot of albums, and shout out The Weeknd for just deciding to drop 90 minutes of music on a random Friday.
I said that's the length of a fucking Sharknado, dude. Like I could watch that instead of listening to the record, but I sat down and I listened to it.
It's straight up the length of a fucking movie. I was like, I'll get to this eventually. I was so excited for the album, but I was like, I do not have 90 uninterrupted minutes on a Monday. I'm going to find 90 interrupted minutes on Sunday night or Monday morning for this album because I have to. I have no choice.
You got to sit down and listen to it.
Yeah, but this past week, I did go to a show. I saw TX2, Tilly, and Flat Out at the Foundry in Philadelphia. What a night. Dude, it was genuinely like a great time. Flat Out was fucking sick. It was great to finally see them. I got to meet Michael and Joe at the end of the night and chat with them for a second at the merch table. Bought a t-shirt. You know how it goes. I'm not wearing it today, but I have it.
It exists.
Yeah,
Which
it exists. I think it's the one with it's got a car on it. I can send you a picture of it. Yeah, I can. I
have one.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture. I just picked the one because like they're all like very in your face, the designs, and that is not how I dress. So I picked the one that I felt was one of the lesser in your face ones, but I wanted to support them because they almost had to cancel the show because of van issues in North Carolina. So I figured I wanted to help them out. That's not cheap when your van goes down, and they rented a car up to the show. Tilly was awesome. It was great to finally see her. We had her on the podcast a long time ago, and I've been, following along kind of sort of. There's been a couple of songs that have really gotten stuck in my head over the course of those a few years. One of those being "Flip a Switch," which she did play live, and her show was super awesome. It was just her, where she would play bass occasionally. Other times she would be without an instrument and a drummer. So it was really just her, and that was it on the stage. And definitely takes balls to get up there and just jump around, and you're the only one, you're the center of attention, and really the only piece of attention on the entire stage. So I really thought that was awesome. Her set was great. And then TX2, man, I don't care what people say, I always have the best fucking times at his shows. What a fucking night. Corky, the bassist, unfortunately couldn't make the show. She wasn't feeling good. So they played as a 3-piece. But the show must go on. That was pretty much the vibe of the entire night. The show must go on. Yeah, it was a great time, man. The crowd, like, honestly, he continuously has one of the loudest crowds. Time and time again. The couple of times I've seen him, I couldn't believe how many people were at the show on a Wednesday night, considering the target demographic for the music is obviously younger, so it's a Wednesday night is a school night, and there were a lot of parents around, and there were a lot of kids, and I couldn't believe how many people were there. There was a low ticket warning, so I would go out on a limb and say there's probably 350, 400 people there. Like, there's a decent amount of people there, and they were loud. It was funny. He tried to get a pit to open up a couple of times. It was unsuccessful because I was standing. The entire venue has changed since the last time I was there, which the last time I was there was when Not My Weekend was in town with This Wildlife back in 2023.
Oh my god, whoa.
I had thought I had been to the venue since then because I don't mind the Foundry as like a spot in Philly. I like going to the Fillmore, the Foundry, and the Brooklyn Bowl Philly venue, which is right next to it, because there's ample parking. The venues have parking lots that they own, so it's easy to get in and out. And I thought I had been there since then. So I walked in and I texted my friend and I'm like, they changed the whole venue. Like, what the fuck? And she was like, when was the last time you were there? She's like, the change has been like that forever. And I'm like, November 2023. Because it used to be the bar. Yeah, the bar used to be in the middle of the room and the sound people used to be like off in the left-hand corner and there was seats along in the back, and now the bar is in the back, the sound is in the middle, so now they have a barricade set up along the front of the sound booth, so I was able to stand right in front of it and get ample viewing of the Circle Pit's attempt to open. It didn't go according to plan any time, but it was entertaining to watch.
It's like cute because it's like, oh, they want to try a circle pit.
Yeah.
Because it's like 12-year-olds and they don't really know what a circle pit is.
Pretty much.
They tried though, I'm sure.
They tried. There was definitely an attempt. As the show went on, they got progressively bigger. They figured out you know, how to do it.
So they did eventually get a circle pit.
Eventually, it wasn't a big one, but they did figure it out, which props to them, you know.
They figured it out.
They figured it out. So yeah, it was a good time. It was a great time. Not many, like, because I don't listen to him all that often. I always check out the newest stuff, but it's not you know, unless something really catches my attention, it's not on repeat. Maybe when it's album time, you never know. But so like I don't typically go to Philly for a show like that, an artist that I don't listen to all the time, but I know I always have the best time at his shows, so I had to make it out. And I was not disappointed. It was a great time. Genuinely, if the tour is hitting your area, Glory and I are TX2 fans, so I'm gonna ride for it and say that you should go out and check it out. But I understand it might not be everyone's cup of tea. Coming up for me, I think I'm gonna have to do it. I've been listening to a fuckload of Cane Hill. They're coming.
You're saying like you haven't already decided. You already told me you were gonna go to this show.
Did I? Because I'm still not 100% sure. I need to, like, you know, psych myself out, get myself to amped up. I think I'm gonna have to do it though. They're coming to Brooklyn. I'm a Brooklyn hater. I don't like going to Brooklyn. I don't like going to New York at all. Anywhere in New York, the city, any of that shit. But I've been listening to a lot of Cane Hill. Glory's my witness. She's, I think, mildly concerned about me.
No, it's like, because every time you FM it, you're like, I have to do something crazy to myself to this song. Like, it's gonna be like, I have to do something awful to myself, and I'm like, should you be listening? Is this a good thing that you're listening to?
It's
should
therapy.
I be worried? Wellness check? I don't know.
I'm doing fine.
Shout out Cane Hill.
Shout out Cane Hill. I've been hooked on Cane Hill, so I think I'm gonna have to go. And then later on in the month, a couple days after that Cane Hill show is Catch Your Breath, Archers, The Funeral Portrait, and If Not For Me. And I cannot miss that bill. That's 4 poppin' current bands in the metalcore scene. You're not going to see another tour like that in the rooms this size. It honestly kind of blows me away that The Funeral Portrait is even supporting the tour, considering the sheer amount of success they've been having with they have multiple songs in rotation on Octane.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so I'm definitely not going to miss that. And then March gets crazy for me after that. So still kind of bored out of my mind with nowhere to go for the time being, but I'm trying to enjoy that for the next few weeks, because I keep looking at my calendar in March and I'm like, oh fuck, dude, like
it's gonna get bad.
God damn.
Yeah, like money's about to get real tight.
Money's about to just be evaporating.
It's just, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad. But I mean, March, hey, I got like 3 shows lined up for me right now.
Yeah,
I'm very excited, and they're all fucking like heavy ass shows, man. I'm so excited.
Hell yeah.
The Plot and You, heavy ass. I mean, they're heavy. They're very heavy.
They are.
I'm so excited. March is gonna be crazy.
March is gonna be crazy.
Off the hook.
Off the chain.
The Chisane. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any shows to talk about yet, though. So
no, it's all right. Glory's got a very slow start.
I'm just riffing.
Yeah, Glory's got a very slow start to the season, but this year, just in general, has been a very slow show start. I've only been
all the tours.
Yeah, I've only been to a couple. You haven't been to any yet, but that's okay. I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can.
Oh my! We need to talk we need to talk about that Silent Planet Invent Animate
Dude.
tour. Did we discuss that last week?
We didn't discuss it, but you and I talked about it.
So, I am considering traveling to 2 different states for this show. I'm going to fucking Scranton, and I'm gonna hang out with my silly little friend, and we're gonna fucking giggle like girls.
Yeah.
Shout out Cheyenne. Or I'm gonna go to South Carolina, and I'm gonna go with my boyfriend, and we're gonna giggle like girls, and he's gonna chuckle like a man. He's gonna fucking giggle like a girl. He's gonna giggle like a girl.
There you go.
I don't fucking care. We'll see. I don't know. Either way, I will be there. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna, like, start playing Super Bloom in full.
Yeah, it's wild. And Invent Animate's playing their newest record, Heavener in full. That's a great tour. I'm debating Delaware because it's basically the same distance from my house as a Philly show would be. But it's the same night as Memphis Mayfire in Philly. That's a tough. That's genuinely a tough call to make. And it's also Mother's Day. So like it's,
oh my god, you're not going to either of those shows.
It is really a toss up of what show I'll be
my
going
mother,
to.
Meaty Mullins or Silent Planet.
Mom, here's Memphis Mayfire. We've actually seen Memphis
Maddie
Mayfire
Mullins
together.
himself. You have?
Yeah, Rockstar Disrupt Fest 2019.
Take her.
Maybe I will.
Get her hyped.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard decision to make because it's like I love Memphis Mayfire. I know I'm gonna love the album. I dig most of the Invent Animate record. I dig most of the Silent Planet record, and I have been very slowly getting into 156 Silence, and I saw them with Cane Hill and Signs of the Swarm last fall. And Alt, it's going to be their first time in America. Tough. There's also a New York City show for both of those tours that I could suck it up and go to instead, but we just established 5 minutes ago I don't like New York. Rocking a hard place, you know. First world problems.
Dude, it sounds like you're going to see fucking Memphis Mayfire with your mom, dog.
Maybe I will.
I think you will. I think that's exactly
that would be fucking
happen.
Awesome.
Because you love Memphis Mayfire more. It's
I do.
Like, and
I do. Guilty as charged.
Exactly. And
but that's
let's not act like it's I wonder what he's gonna fucking do.
But Invent Animate and Silent Planet together playing those records in full is a tour that I feel I can't miss. I've wanted to see Invent Animate headline. That Silent Planet record is the first thing that Silent Planet's done that I've really enjoyed. Wasn't really a fan of what they were doing up until that record.
Like slam poetry.
Yeah. So it genuinely is a tough gamble. I also haven't been to Delaware yet, and it could be my excuse to finally go. So that's also weighing on me. But we don't have to talk through my entire thought process about why I may or may not go to one or other of these shows. I'll be at one of them for sure.
No, I think everyone is like on the edge of their seat right now.
I mean, I'll gladly talk about it.
What's going on?
But one or the other for sure. But that is a fucking phenomenal tour, that Invent Animate Silent Planet. When that went up, because obviously we knew it was going to happen. That EP, the collab EP between the two of them is dropping in March, and it's like, come on, that just makes sense. The reason why they're doing the EP, of course, they're going to tour together. So. Yeah, I'm excited that you'll get to experience it for sure, and I'm
possibly twice.
And I think I'm gonna split myself in half to experience both tours in the same night.
I think that sounds reasonable for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm gonna clone myself for sure.
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna get to work. Can we wrap this up real soon? Because I got to get to work on that.
Honestly, I have nothing else to add. I didn't like anything on the list, so yeah, let's just
All right, we'll just call this. This was good. This was a good, good
great
episode.
Podcast. I mean, it's been fucking 30 minutes already. We should probably get to.
It's only been 17. We were just talking a lot beforehand, Glory.
Oh. There was a lot discussed before the podcast started. Okay.
Yeah. And someone in chat, Miss Archangel, shouted out the Thornhill's Bodies Tour, the Thornhill Bodies Tour, which shout out that fucking tour, man. I am going to New Jersey. Got Thornhill and Avoid, Banks Arcade, and Ocean Grove. God damn. Goddamn.
That's not coming to Virginia. I can tell you right now.
No, it's
I
not.
can tell you right now. No,
No,
the lineup's too good. I'm like, that shit.
That's coming.
That shit ain't happening.
That's coming right to New Jersey on a Friday night, bro. I am absolutely hauling ass from work to get there. I'll send you videos.
I'm gonna do something.
And every single video is gonna have my middle finger in it.
You're not gonna make it to that fucking show. I'm sorry.
Every single video is gonna be like this.
Oh my god, I love Ocean Grove. That's so upsetting. What did Virginia do, guys?
I don't know.
Let's talk about it. Let's put it out. Let's put it out in the open.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. What's
the deal? Yeah.
But we do have a bunch of records to chat about, a couple of singles. Very album heavy week. 4 records that I personally was very, very excited for. This is a week that I have been looking forward to for a while since I saw the release calendar kind of shaping up. Mm-hmm. Diving in here, The Weeknd dropped his new album, Hurry Up Tomorrow. He basically dropped the soundtrack to a movie. I mean, he kind of did. There's going to be a movie that goes with this as well, that he's starting to drop trailers for starting tomorrow, also called Hurry Up Tomorrow. It's going to be...
Childish Gambino do that?
I don't know.
Yes, he did. The answer is yes, he did.
The Weeknd, he's got ambitions to be a star on camera. The Idol. Need we say more?
No.
I'm excited to see how the movie pans out. I will probably go see it in theaters as a Weeknd fan, but we'll see. But the album, it's long. It's very long.
Hour and a half.
It clocks in at almost 90 minutes. But after finally finding 90 uninterrupted minutes to listen to this, because I wanted to give it the full first listen experience, not pause it, because I know, especially the current albums from The Weeknd, how just how much of an experience they can be. So I wanted to give it the opportunity that the first listen is a full uninterrupted listening experience. So I finally got to listen to it last night for the first time in full, listen to the whole thing sitting right here on the good speakers, not on my fucking phone. I was like, I'm going to give this the proper first listen. And I was blown the fuck away.
Yes.
Absolutely blown the fuck away. The seamless transitions from song to song to song make this record that, even though there are slower moments on the album, some songs where if they didn't fade in together, you could even say they should have been cut, because there are absolutely tracks on here that could be considered filler, but the way they flow so well into each other, literally seamlessly, it's just, there is not a single cut, dip, anything. Makes it where this album for me in its current state, and I'm sure as I spend more time with it, it will get to the point where I have my favorites, I'll listen to those, and that's it, because that's how I get with the Weeknd records, because they get so fucking long. I pick my favorites, and that's that. This is a no skip album in its entirety. I am absolutely blown the fuck away. I really didn't know what to expect. There wasn't a ton of hype going into this record. It was delayed due to everything that was going on in LA with the fires, which was, a completely valid reason to delay it. There was also, and I honestly think the delay was slated even before then, because the physical version came out, and the full record's not on it. I bought a vinyl for $17, brand new, which is completely unheard of, because it doesn't have the full track list, and it's being promoted as the first pressing. So more than likely later on down the road, there's going to be a full edition of the record that has the entire track list, because it's only one LP. I didn't know that until I put it in my Discogs, and I'm like, wow, that would explain why it's only one LP. Duh. But yeah, I am absolutely blown the hell away by this record. For me, there's nothing in particular that stands out as like, holy fuck, this is the song. But it's the fact that he just seamlessly created like an opus in a way. Like, it is him essentially killing off The Weeknd as a character in his discography. It's going to be like, he's been talking about wanting to be Abel and not The Weeknd. So there's been all this hoopla about killing off The Weeknd, and this record absolutely talks about it. Even kind of in the way it flows. It definitely towards the end gets very slow and stays very slow. Like there is this descent in the sonic of the record, which would allude to like the death of someone throughout the album, and that is what the album is talking about. But it's just executed so fucking well. There are so many stars that try to do what The Weeknd did, what Abel did with this record, where they put out this big album, and people say it's to pad the streaming numbers or ba 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 ba, and maybe that is part of it. But the fact that he put out a 25-song record and executed it so well, goddamn. Because normally, we've chatted about some of those big records from big artists that have a shitload of tracks, and more times than not, I will sit here and be like, there was this, and this that I liked. The rest was filler. It is what it is. There's plenty of solid tracks on the record that make it a solid album, but it could have been this instead of this. I am not saying that about this album. I think it's fucking phenomenal as is. Absolutely blown the hell away. I got to take a second listen to it today, which if it was a normal length record would have been like 4 or 5 listens, but I got to take a second listen today and reaffirm those thoughts. Just absolutely blown away. I know when we were talking about the singles, I kind of said I don't know how the fuck I'm going to feel, because the singles by themselves absolutely totally out of left field.
Yeah.
Not to pull out the infamous line, but in the context of the record, those songs absolutely blow me away. I'm a big fan of them in the context of the album, but as singles, my thoughts and feelings on those are still the same of, wow, holy shit, what the fuck? And I feel like it really could have been said about any song if you picked a song off of this album to kind of be like, excuse me. I want to give a special shout out to Big Sleep, which is the song with Giorgio Moroder on it. And that is because one of my favorite Daft Punk songs has a feature with Giorgio Moroder as well, but I feel like it's a really awesome callback. It makes me feel like we know how Abel feels about Daft Punk, and I like that little addition, because obviously Daft Punk is influenced by him as well, by Giorgio. So I like that. All the features on the record for me were executed pretty flawlessly, and I just think it's the perfect package. He absolutely nailed what most artists of this caliber dream of doing with an album this big, and I give it all its flowers, all the best. You will be robbing my wallet on Wednesday, Abel. Shout out.
I thought you were gonna say you're giving it 5 big booms, and I was like, hell yeah. But no, okay, that's fine. I like The Weeknd, right? I think he's a great artist. I think he's very talented. I think that he's good at what he does. I've just never, unfortunately, been able to get into his music. I think we've covered his last, 4 records?
No, last 2, I think.
3? 2? 2. Because we After Hours, and then it was Dawn FM, and then it was this one. So 3 records total that I've listened to. And yeah, no, every record has been really good. The only record that kind of fell off for me was Dawn FM. I don't think that one aged as well. I personally was kind of sick of that sound that he was kind of working on, where it was kind of that club woozy sound, which I mean he has for a lot of his songs, but it's just after not being able to get away from like Blinding Lights for 2 years, I was kind of like, let's switch it up a little bit, like maybe like a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And I think he did with this record a lot. This record feels a lot more stripped back compared to After Hours and Dawn FM, which is a massive step up for me, at least a step away from me. Maybe a step closer. Fuck, I don't know, because I liked it more. I think that all of the transitions are incredible. It caught me off guard the first couple of times because it just happened so seamlessly that it just feels like it's just one big song. Granted, there are some big ass songs on here that do just feel like 2 songs that are just kind of put together. Like, fuck, the opener, Wake Me Up, is 5 minutes long, and then a couple songs later you have Sao Powell, which is 5 minutes again. Then you have Reflections Laughing, which is 5 minutes. Immediately after that is Enjoy the Show, 5 minutes. He has multiple 5-minute tracks here, and they're still going.
Yeah.
So there are some moments where I was kind of like, fuck, this song is dragging a little bit, and then it would hit the halfway mark, and it would switch up, and I would go, oh, you got me back, Abel. It's okay. Because, I could call him Abel because we're, like, tight like that, I know him. That's my boy. I think as you said, I agree, I concur. I think all of the features were done extremely well. My favorite track specifically is with 2 features. It's Reflections Laughing with Travis Scott and Florence and the Machine. I think that's great. I also really enjoy Timeless. It was a single, but that's featuring Playboi Carti. And I think I just really enjoy it because it's that sense of familiarity. It is a song that has kind of incorporated itself into meme culture, where it's just kind of, it's one of those songs now. But it's nice still, and it's nice hearing it in its true context, and I think it sounds incredible. I even really enjoyed The Abyss with the Lana Del Rey feature. It's kind of a match made in heaven because I feel like Lana Del Rey is kind of the counterpart of The Weeknd, because I feel like they kind of make the same, like, I'm running away type music, or God, fuck, I miss them. I miss them so much, I also, fuck, I really like Cry For Me, which I'm pretty sure, was that a single?
No, there was only the 2 singles.
Fuck. Damn, I really liked that one a lot because it's sad as shit, and I went, fuck, man, you're crying and you're hoping she's crying? That's crazy as hell. I don't know, damn, I just really liked it. I liked a lot of the, sound bites that were in there as well, kind of like voice messages, or just kind of, it reminded me a lot of those older records where voice messages were heavily relied on, and it gave that nostalgic feel. So it was a very modern take on a nostalgic sounding record. I thoroughly fucking enjoyed this. I thought it was great. I mean, but goddamn, 90 minutes.
Goddamn. Yeah, I don't know how much time I will be spending with this record. I'm sure I'll spend a good chunk of time with it. I always do. The Weeknd always finds a way to drop an album, that fits perfectly into my schedule. Thanks, Abel. Where I'm able to spend a lot, because I also know him like that. Where it fits perfectly in before the release schedules get too crazy, and I'm able to spend enough time with it and not just kind of forget about it. So I'm sure I'll be spending plenty of time with this one. For me, Wake Me Up and Cry For Me are some of my favorites. I also wound up really liking Sao Paulo. I didn't like it as a single at all. That's the one where I said, I don't fucking know about this album. I'm terrified. I Enjoy the Show and Timeless. And then I also said I enjoy Big Sleep. But there's so many goddamn songs on this record. And... there's so many solid songs, but as I said, there's nothing to me automatically that's jumping out as a song that's like, holy fuck, this could be the next Blinding Lights or anything like that. And he really didn't have that on his last record either. There was no like quote unquote crazy big hit off the back of the album.
Except that Tyler song,
true.
Right?
Yeah, you really like that song.
That song was so good.
Yeah.
It was on repeat. That song sucked ass. It was so bad. I fucking hated that song. Okay,
but
here we go again.
At least for me, there's nothing like on the last record, there were songs like Gasoline and Sacrifice that just jumped out at me that was like, holy shit, these songs are fucking phenomenal and I need to spend a ton of time with them. There's nothing like that jumping out on this record. I just think it's an incredibly solid, cohesive piece of music. As I already mentioned, he is going on tour in the summer, taking Playboi Carti out as well as Mike Dean. It's going to be a phenomenal tour. I don't know shit about it, but I will fucking be there. Pre-sale starts Wednesday. I am already signed the fuck up for pre-sale. I do not care what it's going to cost, what it's going to take to get me in those fucking doors, but I was absolutely mind blown the last time I saw The Weeknd a couple of years ago, and I'm ready to do it all over again. I am so goddamn excited. That tour went up and I'm like, oh fuck, I hope nothing else cool announces this week because my wallet is just going to be absolutely decimated. But I'm going for it.
That's gonna happen. I also did want to give a big shout out to the closer. It was the title track.
Hmm.
Incredible closer. As soon as it started, I knew what it was. So it was just off the bat, it sounded like a closer. I thought it was just a beautiful track. I mean, obviously it's sad. And did you see the video of, I know you already mentioned that this is kind of completing the storyline that he started with his debut project. What is it, House of Balloons? I think.
Oh yeah.
And so it transitions to the opening of House of Balloons, and I think that's so fucking
I
neat.
didn't fucking know that, but now I have to listen to it that way.
You gotta fucking listen to it. Yeah, it's
Because,
so. Someone put it on fucking. I was on Instagram Reels, and I went, "Oh my god, I know Shane fucking lost his
dude,
mind when he heard that."
I don't even know about that. That's why I'm losing my mind right now. But yeah, because like Starboy is how I got into the Weeknd. It was right around that time. I was Daft Punk fan, so it just was kind of that seamless transition into, ooh, what the fuck is this? But House of Balloons was like the first record where I like got in my feels to it, because it's like that kind of album. So yeah, that's really fucking awesome. I'm gonna have to listen to it that way. I also haven't listened to those first mixtapes in a while.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's time to
due for a visit.
the Weeknd again.
Yeah, it's due for a visit.
And then there's also like a bunch of like theories and shit with like, because it transitions to his debut, does that mean he's stuck in a purgatory, or does that mean his character relapsed, or does that mean it's like, I'm like, I didn't know this much fucking shit
It
went
goes
into
deep.
the Weeknd.
It goes
Like
deep.
I thought he was just like, ooh, I'm blinded by the light, and that was it.
I was reading a review today of the record, and the person writing it was like, should we be doing like, is this a character, like is his character just not doing okay, or should we do a wellness check on Abel himself based on what is being talked about in the album? And I still don't know.
Still have no fucking idea, but I mean, we'll see. Do you think he'll like break it down, or do you think he's just kind of like,
it's always been elusive. It's always been elusive. So
I hate that.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to break it down.
I guess it makes more sense that he's not going to kind of put a cap on it and say, "Guys, I'm done," because it leaves.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't think the project is going to end. I mean, he might start doing it as a solo artist and like actually kill off the Weeknd. It's very possible, but the Weeknd's character has always been this kind of elusive figure that's like probably not okay, but we don't really know if it's him, if it's the Weeknd, like who it is, and it's always kind of been up for interpretation. It's just been that way. I mean, he didn't do interviews for the longest fucking time, so
which is so crazy because I really want to fucking pick his brain. I mean, if you've been building this world and this character up for how many years? Give me like a guesstimate.
What the fuck? That, I mean, 2010
House
maybe? 2010, 2011?
So 15 years?
Yeah, something like
That's
that.
a long fucking time, and that takes a lot of thought and effort. I want to dig in your brain. What's going on there, man?
Yeah, 2011. I mean, he just started, like, he finally started doing interviews, but for the longest time there were no interviews out there. It was just around this most recent trilogy that he started doing very select interviews, but it's always been this kind of elusive idea, which, you know, is something I always gravitate towards because, like, Daft Punk is one of my favorite musical groups ever, and that is the literal epitome of elusiveness. And they would have been even more strange and mysterious if they did the helmet thing their entire career, but it only started after their first album. So yeah, I could go on and on. That shit always eats me up. That's a surefire way to get me to listen to basically any kind of music, is just make it really elusive and mysterious, and I will be listening.
It's like, let me dig that shit apart.
Yeah.
Let me get into that shit. I mean, honestly, I completely agree. That's why I fucking love when bands get all nerdy and shit when it comes to just concept records, especially if they make like a bunch of lore behind it and there's a big build up. Man, that's why 21 Pilots' Trench had such a chokehold on me, because
that's the only band that can't do it and get me into it. I'm just throwing that out there.
You said they missed that. That's the only one that missed the fucking
sucks.
mark for me. No, literally. But that was like my first introduction to, oh, this is I understand this concept of the record fully. So seeing artists do that, especially for 15 years, not just, Trench came out 6 years? 6 years? They've been doing this storyline of Dima and whatever the hell, they're dragging it out. Now they're dragging it out. Able, seamless, beautiful, effective, wonderful. 21 Pilots, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. We're done.
And the Bandito thing.
Done. We're done. You're not stuck in Dima. You're fucking grown-ass men. Make good music. I don't know. Sorry.
This Weeknd review is totally derailed.
Yeah. Oh my god. Sorry.
Sorry. Album was phenomenal. Highly recommend. And if the tour is coming near you, it's a performance. It is a fucking production for sure. You should definitely go.
Sure. Damn right. Hell yeah. LS Dunes dropped their new album Violet. I'm going to start this off really quickly. Right. I liked this record a lot. I mean, we both know we're both pretty big fans of LS Dunes. I unfortunately have not had the pleasure of seeing them live yet. I really want to see them live. I think you've seen them live.
I have a couple times.
Yeah, once, twice, thrice. Yeah. So it's really nice to see some new music from them because, I mean, their debut was what, like 2 years ago? We did have the chance to chat with them and get to dig into kind of the creation of the band and kind of the thought process and headspace writing process, everything about that first record, if you're interested in that. So hearing this record as a follow-up, I do think it is a major step up. I feel like their sound has gotten a lot clearer. I feel like the vision for the band's direction has gotten a lot clearer. I was able to enjoy this record a lot more than their last one. Not saying I didn't enjoy the last one, just saying this one is a lot more palatable for me. And I think they're refining it, and I think that's incredible. Especially with a lineup as fucking stacked as it is. I mean, every single member is extremely notable, like has had a massive impact on it's a fucking massive supergroup. Every single member is in a band that has had a incredible massive impact on the scene that is still influencing bands today. So seeing this band come together to create something new that doesn't sound like any of their other project is so fucking fun. I have, I believe, just a couple favorites because I need a little bit more time with it. But I really like Paper Tigers, which was, I believe, a single. I really liked the title track, and then I also enjoyed Like Magic, the opener.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think you hit it dead on when you say that this is this record is significantly more refined than the debut and kind of hones in on a sound. The first album was kind of a little bit all over the place, which is something I liked because it kind of did leave something for everybody, but also left me only with a handful of songs that I really wanted to go back to, and then songs on the album that I really had no interest in listening to, again, just because it wasn't vibing for me. This record for sure definitely hones in more on one sound, which I think is awesome, but it also leaves me with feeling like my problem with this record is like all of the songs are great, but there was one standout on the last record for me, which is Like Forever, which is still a song I come back to. That is like peak LS Dunes for me still. And there's not a song on this record that like really right now is jumping out to me that's like, that's the fucking song. There's fantastic songs on here, and I absolutely enjoyed the record. But they honed more in on a sound. That song that I mentioned is a little bit outside of what they wound up doing for most of this record. So that's really my main complaint, is that there's not one song to me personally as a listener that's jumping out and being like, this is the one that I would show someone to be like, this is what I'm really digging off the record. But Like Magic as an opener is like, I know when we were chatting about the singles, we said like Anthony Green's like vocal delivery on some of the songs is like this whining like call for help almost. And this song, Like Magic, is the quintessential definition of that description of like this pleading cry for help, and legit gave me goosebumps the first time I heard it, because we did have it stacked in the playlist the way we're talking about the album. So the Weeknd's record finished up, and then LS Dunes comes on, and it's a total 180. It's the definition of whiplash. Yeah,
yes.
Glory was telling
Heavy
me
whiplash.
about the whiplash that she got by my placement of the albums in the playlist, and yeah, but it literally gave me goosebumps because it just opens. It's just Anthony's vocals opening, and I love his vocal delivery and I love his vocals always and forever. But on that song in particular, absolutely blows me away, gives me goosebumps, is a phenomenal album opener. I also really dig I Can See It Now and Violet's probably the closest thing to me that's like a track close to like what I mentioned, Live Forever, off of the previous record. That would be like, this is the song. Makes sense. It's also the album title track, but so fucking good. Machines, You Deserve to Be Haunted, Things I Thought Would Last Forever. So many phenomenal songs on this record. Very, very solid album. Stoked that it's finally here because I've been waiting a long fucking time for this. Been waiting, so it's finally here and it's phenomenal. They're going on tour, headlining. Well, they're currently over in the UK and EU. They'll be coming over doing a US headline in the spring. If it's coming near you, you should definitely go. I unfortunately will be missing it because the U's just had to book 3 nights in New Jersey and I just had to be there.
You had to be there for all 3.
So yeah, I mean, they're playing their first 3 albums in full, one each night, so yeah. I will be there instead. But again, maybe I will cut myself in half, clone myself, get myself to both shows, experience both at the same time. But yeah, very, very solid record. Great American Ghost dropped their new album, Tragedy of the Commons. I remember proclaiming on here that this was one of my most anticipated albums of the year.
Yes, and you were so fucking right. I was listening to this record, and I was like, holy shit, this is incredible. It's every single fucking little chug riff, every little fucking scream, oh my god. I was listening to this record, I was genuinely just blown away with every single track. I think there are even some fucking catchy ass choruses on here that are still wrapped up in just heavy filth, but it's like, it's still catchy. You're still able to fucking like shake your head to it. You're still able to fucking tap your foot, like maybe like shake your ass a little bit to it, but it's still fucking just wrapped and cloaked in fucking filth and dirt, and it's awesome. I love this album so much. Hymn of Decay, fucking God Is a Loaded Gun, which reminds me of the Vicovi record, My God Has a Gun, and I was like, guys, why is everyone putting a God
why does God have guns in all the metal albums this year?
Guys, how did he get that? Where is he getting that?
Take the gun away.
Who sold that? Did anyone do a background check? I think Lost in the Outline's incredible. Forsaken's I genuinely. Genocide, great track. I think this record is, I completely agree with you. And I don't know why it took me so long. I mean, every single that we did cover leading up to this record, I was on board with. And I was like, this is really good. But it does take a full body of work to really win me over, because singles don't do much for me. I listen to them and I go, that's good, but I kind of forget about them, respectfully. Yeah. So I need to sit down and have my brain focused on a body of work for 20, 30 minutes to really kind of cement it in my head whether I like it or not. And this, holy shit. Yeah. Fucking home run. Yeah. Crazy work.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're so right about like the need for the full album experience to cement for you. And for me, that's normally the same thing, but I got to hear the first single off the record live and get to see them perform live, and it just totally blew me the fuck away, because I kind of just went to that Ghost Inside tour on a limb. I was just like, I don't have much going on, there's not a lot of shows. It's like it's weird that like this April-May period doesn't have a ton of shows. This is coming to my area, got a cheap resale ticket, gonna go have a good time. I enjoyed the new Ghost Inside record, so I might as well go. And you know, this band was the first band on the bill and absolutely blew me the fuck away. I wasn't super crazy about the studio stuff, you know, going into it, but getting to hear it live, and especially Hymn of Decay live, I was like, I am sold. I am amped on whatever is coming next, and I am locked the fuck in. We started covering them after that. And
we did, and I was like, what the fuck are these? And I was like, wait a minute.
I knew, because each single was great. I was like, this album, there's no way that this album can be bad, and I was so fucking right. This album is so fucking good. I have been absolutely digging it. I got so many fucking favorites on here. It's just the vocal delivery is just insane, and the fucking breakdowns and just everything about this album is phenomenal. The the subject matter is very, very current for what is going on in the world. It's a very politically driven record. It's very current to the political climate, and it's so important to be talking about those things at this time right now, and this album drives that home, and it's just so fucking good. Kerosene, Echoes of War, Genocide, Hymn of Decay, Reality Relapse, God is a Loaded Gun, absolutely phenomenal. The openers and closers on this album really seal the fucking deal. Kerosene is such a fantastic way to open the record. It's got like a catchy call and response towards the end, and God is a Loaded Gun feels like a album closer of a metalcore record. It is so fucking good. I am blown away by this record. I'm glad that it lived up to this is one of my most anticipated albums of the year, because I was just so excited about that single that I just kind of blurted that out and then hoped that the album would live up to it, and it did.
That was your intuition, man.
It was my intuition.
You knew.
Fantastic album. I am patiently waiting for a US tour to be announced, because I need to see this band again. I don't care if it's headline support. If it's coming near me, I'll have to be there. I'll be spending a lot of time with this record for sure. Very, very excited.
Yeah. Damn right.
Oh yeah.
Damn right. All right. Grayscale dropped their new record, The Heart, spelled Hart.
We got to chat with Grayscale, with Colin Patrick Walsh about the album. Long time coming. We've been fans of Grayscale for a while, have wanted to chat with the band for a while, and it finally got to happen.
You longer than me,
yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I got Glory into Grayscale. I've been a fan since before the podcast started, and to finally get to chat with Colin about such a big moment in their career was an honor. It was a fantastic conversation. It's out now. If you want to check it out, it'll also be linked in the description of the review of this. If you're watching the full thing, it's not linked, but if you're watching just the review clip, it is down in the description, so you can just go watch it after this. How convenient. Please finish the review first.
Let us get this watch time, and then you can go and then watch the entire interview, and let us get that watch time, and
please like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. But this album is awesome. It perfectly encapsulates everything that the band has done up until this point, and then the Bruce Springsteen influence that we talked about in the interview. Because there were moments in this record where I was like, the band is embracing their inner Bruce Springsteen right now, this very second. But there were plenty of times where I was like, damn, this feels like a callback to this record or that record. Because I genuinely believe they have a flawless discography, so many fantastic records. And this is just another edition. Really, my only gripe, and it's not about the album itself, is that it came out in January, and I'm gonna have to remember this album come springtime, because that will be the ample time to consume this. Grayscale for me is the definition of a spring and summertime band. It is not a band I normally it's not a band I typically go for in the winter. Granted, the subject matter not always the most upbeat, happy go lucky sounding, but the instrumentals drive the happy endorphins in my brain, even if Colin is singing about the most fucked up shit ever. I'm thinking happy, fun. It's getting me up. It's getting me excited. So that's when I'll be spending a lot of time with this record, but I am really amped on it. My favorite run is Summer Clothes, Some Kind of Magic, and Dance with Your Ghost. 3 catchy ass bangers. I got to hear this record live before it came out. I was at the pre-album release show in December in Philly, and Some Kind of Magic and especially Dance with Your Ghost were the 2 unreleased songs that I came away with being like, those had me super excited for the record. Because getting to hear the album live before getting to hear the record, as the album, was definitely weird, off-putting. didn't know what to expect. The crowd was obviously kind of weird because you're going to play 10 unreleased songs to a crowd of people and they're supposed to engage with it. People didn't really engage. It was really kind of a strange vibe. But yeah, those were the songs that I came away with like, damn, those are going to be fucking bangers. And those are the songs that I came away with post listen, really enjoying. Mum 2 absolutely tore my heartstrings out. God damn, Grayscale does the absolute slow track with gut wrenching lyrics so goddamn well.
They do. Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah, Not Afraid to Die as the album closer is fantastic. The Heart is an intro track, and the first real track being Kept Me Alive is fucking phenomenal. There is not a single bad song on this album. It's flawless front to back. I love it. I cannot wait to spend more time with it when I feel it is the right time to consume this record.
When it's like the Grayscale weather hits you and you're like, it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
I think that this record is fucking incredible. I mean, I completely agree with all of your points. The Heart as an opener to then Mum 2, in my opinion, being the closer. I think Mum 2 would be an incredible closer, but because then it just goes like straight back up with Not Afraid to Die. And I understand like you can't just like leave it on like a super, super heavy note, but I think it would have been a nice closer. It is so fucking heavy. Like it was one of those songs where I couldn't not focus on the lyrics. It was staring you straight in the eyes, and it said, this is what's fucking happening right now, and this is happening in my life. This is how I feel, and you just have to acknowledge it. It's nothing that's overcrowded with busy instrumental that you can kind of like half listen to. It is so clear and direct, and it was done so beautifully, and I fucking loved it. I completely agree with Summer Clothes. That track, goddamn, that track is incredible.
Goddamn.
And I agree. Summer Clothes, Some Kind of Magic, and Dance with Your Ghost is incredible. I also really like Talking in My Sleep, and then I also fucking love Painting Over You. So many hard hitting tracks with super heavy topics or just super sad topics, and a lot of them made me go, fuck, this is so sad. I don't know if I want to listen to this right now, but I had to because we're reviewing it. But the fact that off first listen, an album can get that type of strong emotional response from me, I think is an incredible sign. The songwriting's incredible. The instrumental is incredible. I think it's packaged up very well. It's clearly a very personal and deep and raw record. And I think it's super easy to digest, and it's very difficult to have all of those things and still make it accessible for people who aren't the biggest fans. I enjoy Grayscale, but I typically don't go out of my way to listen to them. It's kind of just like they released something, I'm gonna listen to it. But I'm not kind of like a diehard fan. But being able to kind of pick them up and put them down, and then pick them up for this record, and they still immediately had me. Shit, man, that's a good band.
Yeah,
that's a good fucking band.
That's a great band for sure. They're going on tour. They're going to be supporting Mayday Parade. Mayday Parade is celebrating 20 years as a band, which is fucking wild to think about. Because that first record, A Lesson in Romantics, is one of my all-time favorite albums, and it makes me feel old saying that band is celebrating 20 years. Because I was just a wee little lad when that record came out. So they're supporting the full tour. If it's coming near you, it's hitting the road in May, June time frame. So if it's coming near you, you should consider going. I have my friends telling me that I should sell my Night 2 Ice Nine Kills ticket to see Grayscale and Mayday Parade, but I'm like, I've full album play, Ice Nine Kills, same old from Grayscale and Mayday Parade. I don't know, Game Time Decision,
I feel like it's
Fly
fair.
Live
Also,
for Glory, Grayscale.
I would like a video of that. I would like a video because I'm not going.
Yeah.
But if someone could send me a video of that, I would be very happy. That's all I care about.
I think I'm locked in on Ice Nine Kills, but I will be living vicariously through all of the people, all my friends that decide to go to the Grayscale show instead, because I will be the only one at the Ice Nine Kills show.
Damn, maybe you should sell that ink ticket.
I
don't care that much about Fly Dog.
But I have an Ice Nine Kills weekend lined up, dude. Like, Seeing him
so
open for
great.
Metallica and Limp Bizkit, which is wild, and then the two Ice Nine Kills nights in a row playing the two Silver Scream albums. So game time decision. But if that Mayday Parade Grayscale tour is coming near you and you're not seeing Ice Nine Kills like I am, you should consider going, because that's a fantastic tour. Great bands as always. Mayday Parade, Grayscale always put on fantastic performances. Poison the Well dropped their first single in 15 years, Trembling Level. This was my fun little what the fuck from the playlist, but not
that was my reaction when we got in the call. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, not as what the fuck is normal, because this is an established band that just took an extended hiatus and is now finally back. I have personally never listened to Poison the Well ahead of this. Glory hasn't either. But I was like, I've heard the name. I see the bands that they're touring with celebrating their return. I'm like, I recognize those bands. I think that those two things put together, knowing the band name, seeing the bands they're touring with, probably going to enjoy the band. And I was right. The song's pretty fucking awesome. I don't necessarily enjoy the way it opens. I feel like they kind of like just forgot to turn the vocals up in the beginning, and then they magically appear louder in the mix as the song goes on. But other than that, that's really my only gripe. I think the song's fucking awesome.
I think the song is great. I think it's very nostalgic sounding. It's definitely a cut from the early 2000s to the late 90s, just kind of that track. So it's nice to, it stands out on the playlist for sure compared to a lot of the modern metal that we have on the playlist. It's very classic metal, and I think that's great, because we don't hear that often. It's not like they came back after 15 years and they were like, hey guys, we're doing Octane core, we're back, and we're gonna have a fucking catchy chorus, and it's gonna be on the fucking radio like Octane. Which, I mean, it still obviously could with this, because I mean, it's a big fucking deal that they're back. But it's not the cookie cutter, heavy on the quotes, sound that they went for, and I think that's great. Hats off just for that. I think the song is great. Personally, I feel like the arrangements on the song overall, it just feels a little messy, a little cluttered. It was hard for me to follow a little bit. But again, it's just not my genre of choice. It's not my era of metal of choice for those reasons, because it's very punk, kind of like, we're gonna do whatever the fuck we want to do. And is it gonna be super cohesive? No, because fuck that, because that's not punk. And I do like when things are cohesive. Yeah. So my brain goes a little, fuck just happened there? I mean,
it's that style of like the chaotic post-hardcore of the late 90s and early 2000s, which is exactly where this band came from. And I enjoy some bands from that. It's typically not my genre of choice either, but I did think that this song was executed well, considering what they came from and the fact that they basically just continued to do that with this, 15 years later.
Didn't miss a beat for sure. Yeah, which is great. I fucking love that. Jinjer dropped their new single, Duel. Man, come on. It's fucking Jinjer. Yeah. What do we have to say? This is incredible. It's up. It sounds great. All of the tracks that they've dropped so far have been incredible. I'm a big fan of this band. I think the vocals, as always, are incredibly impressive. I think they're fucking strong. I think they're fierce. I think they're fucking crazy. And honestly, yeah, I fuck with the track. As always, as per usual, I think this band's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the song is fucking phenomenal. This is the track for me. I've been enjoying all the singles up until this point, but this is the track for me where I was like, I'm sold on this album cycle. I'm sold on the band, because I saw them open for Disturbed. I listened to the music before that, and I was like, I understand why this band gets the praise that they get. And this was before the new album cycle. That's how, and it wasn't that long ago, 2 years ago maybe. And but I don't personally get it. I'm not a fan of this, and I think I even said that when I talked about the show on here. I was like, the band was cool, the live performance is cool, but I don't know if I'm a fan of the band. I'm glad I finally got to see them. But we started following this album cycle because they finally started putting stuff out, and I was pleasantly surprised. And this was the song for me where I was like, I think when this album comes out in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna be blown the fuck away. So I'm really excited to hear this album in full because the title track, has certainly. I was listening to this again today, and I was like, fuck, that's some good shit.
God damn, yeah, like. Fuck, man, they can't just keep doing this.
Yeah, they're cooking for real.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thornhill dropped their new single Silver Swarm, announced their upcoming record dropping in April. Got the tour going on as well. If that's coming near you, you should go. Avoid.
Check it out.
Banks Arcade and Ocean Grove. What a fucking lineup.
Hear about it. I don't want to fucking hear about it again.
You're gonna be hearing about it for a long time now, Glory. This track is awesome. It's honestly one of my favorite Thornhill songs that I've heard.
Damn, yeah.
It's like the perfect blend of like the very like seductive Thornhill that we get. The very seductive Thornhill that we get so often blended with just straight up ass beater fucking riffs that I think the band does so well, and I wish that they did more just across the genre or across their discography, because I always feel like they lean a little bit more into that like seductive, keeping the vibes low and like sexy metal, which is great, and the albums sexy and the songs metal, are always phenomenal. But I love the occasional ass beater. I think they do it so well. This track is the perfect example of that. I'm really digging this a lot, and I'm excited to hear this album in full in April.
Damn right. I completely agree with everything you just said. I think they always nail I think seductive, rock, that's fine and all. This is fucking horny rock, okay? There's yearning. There's craving in this fucking music, and I think it's awesome. I don't know how the fuck they keep doing it, because they make it sound different every time, but it's like you always hear it and you go, the fuck?
Yeah.
Am I hearing this properly? And I think it's fucking awesome. I love this band. I think they're just cool as shit. I thoroughly enjoyed this track. Ass beater, but still fucking horny. And I think that's great. Good job, guys. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. For our last track, Bad Sons dropped their new single, Communicating. It's been a while since we've heard from Bad Sons. It feels like it's been a hot minute, and it's very nice to see them on the playlist again.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Bad Sons.
Dude, this track, again, I know I keep fucking saying it today. One of my favorite things I've heard Bad Sons do. I think like it's an evolution of the sound that they've been doing. We've started following them with their last record, and then they did like an EP mixtape kind of thing that we covered as well. It's just an evolution, and I really, really dig this pop sound that they're doing with this track. I think they fucking nail it, and I'm really excited to hear whatever is coming next. But this track in particular, I'm really digging. I think it's incredibly solid.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, again, I'm having the same issue that you had with the Grayscale record, where it's like, I love this a lot, but I feel like it was released in the wrong time. Now, I understand if this is the beginning of a rollout, it makes sense, because then you could have it drop sometime late summer, mid to late summer, and I think it would work perfectly. Yeah. But this is such a summer song that listening to it in fucking 12-degree weather just feels wrong. I should not be this happy when the sun is setting at like 3 p.m., Like I should be having the worst time of my life, but whatever. This is bringing some sunshine into my life that I don't want. Respectfully. I think the song is great. I think it's a nice little pop rock moment. It's fun, it's cute. I'm for it. 100%. Yeah. I just hope this is the start of a rollout, because then that would make sense to my head. But if this is a one-time drop, I think you guys could have kept this for a little bit.
I think it's the beginning of a rollout. It's got to be.
It's for sure the beginning of a rollout. Yeah. For sure.
It's top of the year, man. Come on.
Come on.
But yeah, that's all the topics we have today. You can follow us on Twitter. It's _noise_cast. Instagram's Good Noise Podcast. Facebook is Good Noise Pod. TikTok is Good Noise Podcast. YouTube is Good Noise Podcast. All the audio streaming services are Good Noise Podcast. And Patreon is patreon.com/Good Noise Podcast. Glory's got your Patreon supporters, your Twitch subs, your important plugs, your merch store plug, and your Amazon storefront. And then we're going to sign off.
Check out our merch. It is goodnoisepodcast.creator-spring.com. Check out our Amazon storefront. It has all of the equipment we use to create the podcast. If you choose to buy something, say a mic, a camera, a light, a chair, we don't have our chairs on there.
A CPU processor.
Whatever the fuck you feel like buying off of it, we get a small commission from it, and that helps us continue the podcast, as there are a couple things that we pay for subscriptions. We pay subscriptions for.
Yes.
There you go. So if you're so kind, you could do that if you'd like. Patreon supporters, thank you, Matt from Pulses, Pop Punk Apologist, David Arrington, Tyson from Heal the Hurt, and Eric. And thank you to our Twitch sub, Matt again from Pulses. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Important plugs. Black Lives Matter. Stop Asian hate. Be a decent person. Yeah. Fuck. Look out for your people, man. There's a lot of shit going on. There are a lot of things that the government is rolling back, especially just with minorities in general. And minorities, even if you're white, you could still be a fucking minority because you could still be a woman. And that affects you too, guys, by the way. So just be aware and look out for each other because shit's getting a little freaky out there. So just manage to get a little freaky. Not like a good freaky, like a bad freaky.
Yeah.
So yeah, just look out for each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, that's all we have today. I've been Shane.
I have been Glory.
And we've been the Good Noise Podcast. See you when we see you. Bye.
Bye.